Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline for Pixie Dust PhD. I am filming this on Saturday, September 16th, 2023. This is the month 43 creator update. Thanks for your patience while this is a little bit late. I was hoping to actually get this out today, the day I'm filming, but that's not going to happen. I actually scripted and filmed this entirely back on September 11th or 12th, but it turned out that there was no audio in that file, so take two. My partner and I have also had a lot of extenuating life circumstances come up in the past couple days, so if I seem tired or annoyed, that's because I am, but it has nothing to do with the channel. There's actually quite a lot of news to cover. In the video, I'll probably just do high level, but as always, there will be additional details and links in the description below. Arguably, the biggest news since the last monthly creator update were all of the announcements we got at Destination D23. I did make a fully separate video about that, so if you want to hear about that news, please go check out that other video. I will link to it in the description below. Otherwise, there's some good DVC news I want to share, but let's start out at Disneyland Paris. The Disneyland Hotel at Disneyland Paris is set to open back up in late January of 2024. Even if you don't intend on staying there, because it does pretty much cost an arm and a leg, if you are headed out to Disneyland Paris after the hotel opens, I do hope you make some time to go see it. When I was there, it was a total construction zone, but I bet it is absolutely beautiful. Back over to Walt Disney World, we are getting extended evening hours at the Animal Kingdom in November and December. Extended evening hours are not for everyone, it is only for resort guests who are staying on site at a deluxe level or villa level resort. For a long time, extended evening hours pretty much were always Magic Kingdom and Epcot one night a week each. But since party season has kicked off at Magic Kingdom, we've seen some shifts. So more recently, extended evening hours have been a mix of Hollywood Studios and Epcot, and then starting in November, it looks like it'll shift to Epcot and Animal Kingdom. If you do have a trip coming up and want to know about extended evening hours, check the park hours calendar for official information. There aren't actually that many days with extended evening hours at the Animal Kingdom. I did a light skim of park hours in mid-November, and there was a week I found where there were extended evening hours at Epcot twice in 1 week, both on Monday and Wednesday. That was a week without any Animal Kingdom extended evening hours. Personally, I think it's nice to see extended evening hours happening at all the parks. That being said, for any given time frame of a vacation, it's probably only happening in one or two of the parks, and so I get that that can be frustrating and hard to plan around. Like I said, definitely check the park calendar. On to DVC news. There will be a DVC preview of Journey of Water inspired by Moana in late September and early October. That attraction does then open generally to the public on October 16th, I believe. If you want to take advantage of the Disney Vacation Club member preview, do note that you do have to qualify for membership extras. You're also limited to 1 preview visit per day and 1 event date per membership. The qualifying member can bring up to 4 additional guests for a total party size of up to 5. And do note that you will need an Epcot Park Pass reservation. So if you are park hopping over to Epcot at 2 p.m. or later, you will not be able to do the preview. The preview is going to be available from park open until 5 p.m. and there is no advance registration. DVC is also hosting the Halloween event over at the Boardwalk at the Atlantic Dance Hall like they did last year. Similarly, you have to qualify for membership extras, and the qualifying member can have up to 4 additional guests. This event is occurring on September 25th and 26th, October 9th and 10th, and October 30th and 31st. There will be characters and complimentary treats. This will run from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., but they may cut the line off early. Additionally, do note to access this Halloween event, you will have to be staying on property at Walt Disney World or Vero Beach. A similar Halloween event's going on over at Disneyland called DVC Candy Craft and Characters. Again, you have to qualify for those membership extras, and the qualifying member can bring up to 4 additional guests. This will be held October 17th and October 24th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. in the community hall at the Disneyland Hotel. And to attend the event, you must be staying at a Disney-owned and operated resort or have tickets to the Oogie Boogie Bash party that night. Next, for DVC members, they did announce a first wave sailing on the Disney Treasure. DVC members that qualify for membership extras have the opportunity to get on the Disney Treasure very early. I believe it's the 3rd ever sailing. This will be January 4th through 11th, 2025, sailing through the Eastern Caribbean. Do note that this is a first wave sailing. It's not a member cruise, so you're not going to get all of the extra swag or gifts that are typically associated with DVC member cruises. And because it's not a member cruise, you will have to book at least 1 passenger fully with DVC points. Others may be booked with points or cash, but my understanding is if you're choosing cash, you do have to pay that full cash rate up front. If you're interested, reservations will open up on October 14th, I believe at 10 a.m. Eastern. You will have to call to do this, you cannot make these online. To expedite the process, make sure you have all of the relevant information ready to go for every passenger that you're booking for. This includes everyone's full names, addresses, date of birth, and contact information. Plus, you'll obviously need your DVC ID at the ready, and if you have it, bring your Castaway Club number as well. And last, but perhaps most excitingly, at least it is to me, is that the Disney Vacation Club one-time use points fee actually decreased. Until fairly recently, the purchase price for one-time use points was $19 per point, and then they bumped it up to $22 per point. Personally, I really didn't see any community outrage about that price increase. Of course, we'd all rather continue to pay $19 a point instead of anything more, but a plus $3 delta, considering inflation and everything else, doesn't seem terrible. But in really great recent news, they've actually dropped the price now down to $20 per point. Therefore, this is still a $1 increase compared to the $19 per point a lot of us were used to, but it now is a decrease down from $22 a point, so that is a win. And perhaps the biggest win is for all of us who bought a DVC contract while they were running Magical Beginnings, where they valued Magical Beginnings at $22 a point. I'm fairly certain Magical Beginnings is now being valued at $20 a point. I certainly have no memory of Disney voluntarily decreasing the price of anything in recent history. If you do, I would love to hear about that in the comments down below. But overall, yeah, really happy about the one-time use points news for sure. Last, before we get into stats and analytics, I did just want to update everyone on the fundraiser. Thank you again so much for anyone who donated and spread the word. In case you didn't see on other social media, I did make my matching donation. I decided to add a little more into the pot too, considering all of your generosity, so I sent over a $1,200 donation somewhat recently. Alright, let's go ahead and do stats then. And even though I'm recording this on September 16th, I did pull these on September 11th, so they went through September 10th. This past week activity on the channel is not counting in what I am presenting from here on out. In month 43, I went back to my regular cadence of uploading one proper video once a week. More recently on the channel, there have been times where I've been uploading a lot more, so that May to June timeframe, because of Villas at Disneyland Hotel, I was uploading a ton, and then in July I was also trying to upload more just to drive more traffic to the channel for the fundraiser. So compared to recent monthly creator updates, it feels like I didn't really upload very much, but I am keeping to my once a week pace. Videos posted this past month include the month 42 creator update, a video where I was comparing my experience buying a DVC contract on the resale market versus directly through Disney, and then a fun chatty video where my partner and I were talking about how we might improve the Magic Kingdom. I also talked with my friend Jen at Dill's Diz about taking kids to Walt Disney World. Specifically, we talked about food and eating. And then finally, I told everyone about my experience with my luggage during check-in and check-out when we stayed at a Disneyland Paris hotel. And there was a really short video of just the introduction to the Disney 100 exhibit, which I got to go to pretty recently in Philadelphia. For the top content by views this month, there actually weren't too many shorts for the first time in a while. Only 3 shorts made it into this top 10. And overall, I would say this was a pretty good spread between Disney World content, DVC content, and room tours. In terms of what I posted this month that made it into the top 10, of course, all 3 of the shorts. And then for the only 2 proper videos that I posted this month in the top 10, it was talking about buying DVC resale versus direct, and then also my partner and I talking about how we might improve Magic Kingdom. Overall, this month, the channel received just under 7,500 views from just over 5,300 unique viewers. 740 of you were returning viewers. Thank you so much. I'm not too sure what the deal with the magic sauce is the past couple months with way more of you coming back, but I honestly really do appreciate it. Especially since the last couple months haven't been great for the channel overall, it's nice to know that I'm at least retaining my base and maybe even growing it. Overall, we got just over 400 watch hours this month and just over 70,000 impressions, with 38.3% of those impressions coming from YouTube. And the channel got 21 new subscribers this month. Over on Twitter, I am now following 1,451 accounts and 1,089 are following me. And on Instagram, I'm following 818 accounts and 536 are following me. Moving on to lifetime analytics, the channel overall now has just over 245,000 views with just under 16,000 watch hours. The channel has amassed about 2.5 million impressions, with 36.6% of those impressions coming from YouTube. And overall, the channel now has 1,451 subscribers. Doing some reflections, obviously this month was not great. Every single stat I tracked this month fell compared to last month, and some of them were by quite a lot. The lower amount of views this month I think is fairly easily explained by the fact that I didn't have a ton of engagements on the shorts that I posted this month. Lately, and by that I probably mean honestly at least the past 6 months, usually if I'm amassing more than 10,000 views or so, honestly 40 to 60% of those are coming from shorts. They're not just coming from the videos I post. So if the shorts aren't really finding their audience, well then yeah, my views number is going to be down. I think that theory is further backed up by the fact that I had under 5,500 unique viewers this month. I don't think that number's been that low since like month 36 of the channel. But the shorts and videos often find different audiences. So again, if the shorts aren't taking off, then of course this number is going to be lower. I definitely was disappointed by watch hours though being only about 400 hours this month. Even when I have shorts take off, that adds such little value to the watch hours number in any given month that it's almost negligible. So this number being low is really telling me that the video content I posted this month was not finding its people, was not very engaging, etc. I think again, my watch hours per month number hasn't been this low since like month 35 or 36. But obviously the biggest disappointment was only getting 21 new subscribers in the monthly period. In the history of the channel, we've certainly had worse months, but not anytime recently. For probably close to 2 years now, I would say for the most part, I get 1 new subscriber a day, maybe, 1.25 to 1.5 depending on the month. 21 new subscribers this past month is nowhere even near 1 a day, so yeah, that's super disappointing. Lifetime though, we are nearing some cool milestones. For example, we're getting close to 250,000 views and 16,000 watch hours. Plus, despite the weak month, we did at least eclipse 1,450 subscribers. 1,500 is very close now. Ideally, I'll hit 1,500 before the next monthly creator update, but realistically, hopefully in the next 2 months, we'll get there. In terms of revenue, for this past monthly period, it was estimated I made about $31. That's about $18 for every 1,000 ad views, or about $4 for every 1,000 views overall. Lifetime, we've amassed about $475 in YouTube revenue. This is about $17 for every 1,000 ad views, or about $2 for every 1,000 views in general. In terms of longer-term revenue goals, I did share recently that I got a new camera. It is a vlogging camera specifically, and I am definitely still learning it. There are a ton of settings, and I've read the booklet, and I've watched some YouTube videos, but honestly, I'm the kind of person that needs to learn by doing. I did also buy new mics. I'm also learning those, and this is the first time I've ever had a camera that can accept an external mic. Over the next couple months, as I'm uploading videos using these new mics, I do appreciate your patience while I'm figuring out optimal audio levels and whatnot. I know I warned you a couple times now that there may be a break in content. I think we should probably be okay through the end of the year. That being said, I likely will take off the last 2 weeks of December like I did last year, so, through the end of the year being through mid-December. And here are some topics we are likely to cover. The first couple of videos in the month 44 period that are already on the channel are the Destination D23 big level takeaways and my reaction, as well as that Riviera Tower Studios math video. Beyond that, I have some ideas about how we could improve the DVC user experience, and there will be the last in the series where I'm talking to my friend Jen about kids at Walt Disney World. I've also got a video explaining parking at Walt Disney World, but mostly that's actually talking about improvements that could be made for day guests visiting resorts who are not staying at that resort. Then we'll be going over extra magic hours at Disneyland Paris, and I recently got an unofficial Disney Parks cookbook, so we will do a recipe video for the carrot cake cookie. In terms of DVC content, I've got a small smattering of topics here. We'll talk about Dream It Forward, the referral program, both generally what it is and also the current reward. Recently, a couple of you have asked me about the Universal swap, the idea being you swap out your DVC points for a Universal trip, so we'll go over that. Spoiler alert, it's not really a direct swap by any means, but since this is becoming a thing, apparently, I thought I'd explain it on the channel. From what I can tell, basically it's a marketing ploy from third-party companies. It's not shady by any means, but it's not really a Universal swap if you ask me. And then I thought I would take a step back and do something a little more high level for DVC, so just like a general overview of what the heck this even is. This channel has been living in the nitty-gritty details of Disney Vacation Club for quite a long time. But I think there are a lot of people out there who just need that big picture overview to even decide if it's worth their time to understand the details, or if from an overview they can say, just kidding, this is not for me. So I will do a DVC overview video. My intent is to hopefully get that to be under 20 minutes. Like if you were DVC curious, you could watch my video at 1x speed in under 20 minutes and get the main takeaways. At the very least though, I'm definitely gonna make sure it's under 30 minutes. No one has time for 2 hours just for a general overview. And I'd actually recently filmed a one-time use points video, but it was without the updated information of one-time use points now costing $20 a point, so I'll have to update that. But somehow we haven't actually talked about one-time use points on the channel before, like in its own dedicated packaged video, so we'll do that. And as I've shared before, my partner and I will be heading down to Orlando sometime between now and the end of the year, so there will be trip planning and then vlog content coming. Again, if you have any requests for places, things, or the format of how I post the videos, please let me know in the comments down below. I thought about skipping this monthly creator update entirely, honestly, just because, like I said, it's been a really rough past handful of days for my partner and I. But if anything, sometimes it's nice to have a distraction, a hobby, and I do like the consistency of having these monthly update chats with you, even though it is a little bit one-sided. Remember, everyone, that we are heading into fall, which means it's time to get your flu shot. And with the recent CDC news, you can even combine getting your flu shot and your next COVID booster. I hope you're all staying healthy, safe, and well. May the rest of your day be magical, and we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.